rolling.
You got Fred Durst.
Fred Durst.
Hey, anyone can wear the mask, Jake.
Oh, shit, dude. Can you imagine? I want Spider-Man to take off his mask, and it's Fred Durst.
It's Fred Durst.
Oh, shit.
Like, he's still wearing the hat, too, when he takes
still
the
has
mask
the
off.
hat on.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be crazy.
J. Jonah Jameson.
I think that's the one multiversal Spider-Man we're missing is the Fred Durst Limp Bizkit
Fred Durst.
Spider Biscuit.
Ooh, that's what his name would be. Or Limp Spider.
Limp Spider. I like that. It's definitely the name of the episode.
Yeah. Now I'm just imagining like you put on the suit in the game, you got the backwards hat on top of the Spidey suit because that's how you would need it for the game. And as soon as you start swinging, it's like keep rolling. Oh
man. I mean, well, if the listeners can't piece together what we're talking about, we are discussing. Well, first off, this is Comics and Chronic.
That's what it is.
Welcome. This is a half-baked edition. Today it'll just be myself, Jacob H., and of course Anthony Iannaccio.
What up?
Cody cannot be with us because he hasn't played Spider-Man 2.
No.
Because he's a loser.
Yeah, he's a loser. That's.
But guys, if you're listening to this episode and you want to get Cody something for Christmas, donate to his GoFundMe so that he can buy a PS5.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
The GoFundMe for the PS5.
Yeah. It's really important that you guys help him out, mostly with the PS5. He needs it.
He doesn't need a place to live. He needs a PS5.
No, you guys, come on. He needs a PS5 so he can talk with us. Otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah. What's the point of him even being on the podcast if he can't talk about this?
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, today we were discussing Insomniac's sequel to the 2018 Spider-Man for PS4. And, I mean, it's fucking awesome, per usual.
It's great.
We all knew it when we saw the trailer, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I was going to get... Okay, so the first Spider-Man I bought... I didn't have a PS4 when that came out. I specifically bought that PS4 exclusive Spider-Man.
Ooh, nice.
So it's a red PS4 with a big white Spider-Man logo. And it came with the game. And when that game came out, man, I was playing literally until my eyes were like... They were hurting. They were physically in pain.
Like when you realize you haven't been blinking for the past 10 minutes and you're just like, oh,
exactly.
shit.
This one was no different. I mean, no eye pain, but I was playing for a long time. Like, hard to put down.
I beat it. Like, for me, I beat it really quickly. Like,
yeah.
I've only had it. My friend Max let me borrow his copy, and I've only had it for 2 weeks, and I beat it 94%. Not 100, but 94.
Nice. I definitely 100%ed it. I didn't do the platinum trophy.
Did you do it after the story, though? Or? No,
I kind of, like, I'm the kind of person that, especially in this game, I love the side missions. The side missions feel like really full missions, and they're fun to do. So I just love exploring the city, so naturally I was just doing the side missions. I made sure, as I felt like I was getting towards the end of the game, to try to beat them. So I think I beat all... Yeah, I did all the side stuff, all the main side stuff before I fought the final battle with Venom. So, I mean, that's just how I play the game. But you don't need to. Like, certain games like Arkham City, if you didn't do everything, you got a different ending depending on how much you completed in the game. This is not that kind of game.
But yeah, I completed most of the story side missions before the end of the game. Like, I beat the Mysterio shit. I beat the Carnage shit. Or, sorry, the Crimson shit. But we all know he's going to be Carnage. That was cool. All that stuff. This whole game, the story was sick.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't realize that guy was Cletus Cassidy until they did the reveal. I was just like, oh it's just some random redhead.
I kind of knew it was. There was a part where, like, when Spider-Man's one of the Crimson bases you take down, he's looking at a book, and it's like, oh, they're talking about a prophecy, and like in the pages of the prophecy, it's like a very Carnage-looking dude, and I was like, oh,
yeah, you're right.
And I was like, oh shit, is that Carnage? Is that supposed to be?
Because those guys basically turn out to be the cult of Carnage.
Yeah.
Which is from the comics. That's really cool. Newer shit from the comics, which I appreciated.
For sure, yeah. Because they didn't go with his classic, like, he's just a psychopathic serial killer. Like, he was like a smart cult leader in this game.
An arsonist on top of that.
Yeah, that was sick.
That's what I like about the Insomniac Spider-Man universe. They do their own original things with the characters while still paying homage to stuff from the comics. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Also, just as a disclaimer, if you haven't played the game and beat it yet, This will be a spoilers-heavy episode. So,
Oh yeah, don't listen to this episode if you don't want spoilers.
yeah, if you haven't beat the game, you don't want to be spoiled, turn away now.
Leave. This is also our first video game episode,
shit,
right? We've
that's
never
true,
really
actually.
dedicated a whole episode to a video game, so that's pretty cool.
Which is kind of crazy to think about it. We have this nerd podcast. We've talked about video games, but we've never dedicated one episode to a video game.
Right, and we've talked about like Super Mario movies and stuff like that, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But never exactly a video game. And I mean, Cody self-admits, like when we talk about video games, he doesn't really play them as much as we do or as he used to, which is fair.
Because Cody's a loser. Yeah.
Like we said, yeah, he's a loser. I remember one episode he was making it seem like we're losers for playing video games.
I know,
like,
I
don't
remember
have time
that.
for
that. I know. Yeah, Cody, who doesn't have time for that, the master of maximizing
The master of time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fucking Kang over here. The master of time.
Cody Kangin.
Cody Kanging. That's hilarious. Well, dude, should we give a synopsis?
Yeah.
So it pretty much takes place. If you guys have played the first Spider-Man, I'll just go over it very incredibly quickly. You fight a bunch of villains, but low-key, it's kind of like a Dr. Octopus origin story. And he's Peter's mentor, and he works with him, and Peter has a lot of respect for him. Dr. Octopus has a degenerative disease. He eventually goes crazy and wants to get revenge on Norman Osborn for fucking him over throughout his career, and becomes a villain. The final fight in the first game is Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus, and of course he beats him and breaks his heart that Dr. Octopus turned into a villain. So this takes place 8 months after that and the events of the side game, Miles Morales.
Did you play Miles Morales, by the way?
I did. It was cool.
That was a fun one. It felt very much like an expansion pack DLC rather than its own game, but it was still good.
It was still good, yeah. I will say, I did have a critique about this game. It wasn't that like Miles heavy, to be honest. It still felt
right.
like a Peter Parker game.
Yeah,
Which I'm not mad about, but it still felt like, it wasn't like it really wasn't Miles' story to tell in this one. It was still Peter's and Harry's.
Right, but I felt like very much, and I mean, that's the end of the game, basically, skipping ahead to that. Miles is Spider-Man now.
Well, they announced...
If you play through the game...
Also, Insomniac said, like, the third one, like, going forward, like, Miles will be the main Spider-Man.
Nice. And that makes sense. I mean, Peter's story in this, I doubt, like, we're done playing as Peter, obviously, but Peter's story in this... It's from the very beginning, like him and Mary Jane are, maybe they're going to move in together. They're just trying to have a normal life. Like it's that kind of Peter Parker story. But of course, like being Spider-Man gets in the way, which in the comics, they never really want to break away from. They're just like, no, you got to be Spider-Man. It's got to be this way.
No woman would really put up with that after a while.
Yeah.
Also, I got to say this. Dude, Mary Jane in this game, she was not hot. I am not saving that woman's life over and over and over. Like, also, dude, I'm not gonna lie. Every single when I got to the end of the game, and you're like taking out the Venom symbiote under the sewers or whatever, and it switched that one Mary Jane part. I was like, God damn it! Are you kidding me? I have to play as her again.
Oh, you didn't like playing as her?
I never, even in the first game, I hate playing as Mary Jane Watson.
I thought she was pretty fun in this one because you could like take people out like pew, pew, pew. It becomes like a third-person shooter.
Yeah, she had the little stupid taser, which just goes to show, okay, so Mary Jane can take out symbiotes as easily as Spider-Man. Because she has a sonar gun. That's no, it was.
I thought it was fun. I didn't. There weren't a lot of those, so it wasn't like, oh my god, like, and they weren't that long. She had one kind of long mission, which
that Kraven
honestly,
one.
Yeah, that was fun too. I was thinking of the one where you are taking out the guards in the neighborhood when you're in Queens. Like you have to go find Peter. That was to me the hardest one.
That
too.
one was
like,
hard. Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I get the complaints because it's like her missions are very different from Spider-Man's missions, but she's definitely OP with that gun. You don't want to fuck with Mary Jane with that gun.
Dude, speaking of hard, I did find this game to be more difficult. I was dying more than the first one.
Same, especially in the boss fights. The boss fights were pretty hard.
And I felt like I wasn't able to heal as frequently as I was in the first game. You know what I mean?
No, it definitely, and I was playing on, not the easiest, the middle one. So normal, just like regular.
Yeah, I played on normal too, and I was getting my ass kicked in certain fights.
Yep. Even when I was like towards the end of the game where I'm like, okay, I guess I can't upgrade any further, it was still like, fuck. Like,
yeah, dude.
I'm putting every gadget on at once and like.
I was just like spamming that shit.
Yeah.
Now you had to.
Yeah, it's that kind of game. Like, yes, you have to dodge, but at pretty much everything else you could just like button
It's a
mash.
button mash, but it's like a sick button mash game.
Yeah, because sometimes you really feel like, a lot of the time, you really feel like you're kicking ass and you could see how the combos are working, you know?
Dude, and no scene makes you feel like that more so than when you first get the fucking symbiote suit.
Oh, yeah.
And Spider-Man just goes on that rampage, killing all of Kraven's, beating the shit out of them. Probably killing some of them realistically, but.
Oh, yeah. And I love how the controller itself, like you hear the Venom growl. It's like,
dude, seeing the Venom symbiote progress over the course of the game, did you notice in the end Venom looked more like a Mega Venom even?
Yeah,
it was just and he got the wings
becoming more monstrous.
Dude,
yeah. Oh, that's straight from the new run too.
See, I was like, what? Like when I saw that, I was like, whoa! I was like, Venom has wings? What?
Yeah,
I liked it, to be honest. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I do want to say, like, if you like this game, especially the Venom parts, yes, it's a lot of it. So, okay,
link us. Tell us which ones to read, Anthony.
This is what you got to read. So if you're a patron, we already talked about it. Kraven's Last Hunt. You got to read that. It's a classic one. It's a good comic. It's a short comic.
Heavily in this game.
Yeah, you get Spidey in the black suit confronting Kraven. Kraven in the comics at that time is not a big deal until Kraven's Last Hunt. Like, then you get a really good, probably, we talked about this in the episode, probably the best Kraven story ever and probably the only one worth reading a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So this game obviously is taking the best parts of Kraven. The black suit, like just in the comics in general, if you've seen the movie Spider-Man 3, that's the black suit story. Like, he gets it. He starts to become a bit more aggressive and meaner. I think that's actually more from the animated series where he becomes like a bit of an asshole.
I believe
once he gets
that.
the black
I believe
suit,
that.
which is even cooler that that's influenced Venom. Read Donny Cates' Venom run. Him and Ryan Stegman do a really great modern Venom run. It was coming out at the same time as Immortal Hulk, and I highly recommend Immortal Hulk 2, obviously, but Venom by Donny Cates is fucking awesome.
I'll check
especially
it out.
if you like the newer Venom stuff in this game.
Is the art good?
The art's incredible. Yeah, that's why I mentioned Ryan Stegman. He's a really cool artist. And then just read some like classic Venom if that's what you like. This is a Venom heavy and Kraven heavy, black suit heavy Spider-Man story, which is some of my favorite Spider-Man. So this game had me, dude.
No, yeah. This game had me from the first trailer ever.
Yes.
And then just seeing that 14-minute gameplay, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is incredible. And then, dude, like, once again, it's so simple, but the swinging. You could just fly and swing around the city for like an hour and do nothing. And it's so much fun. It feels so cool.
And in this game, they introduced the web wings.
The web wings.
You're basically Superman at that point.
Yeah. That was sick.
That was fun.
That was so much fun.
I was using them a lot more than swinging, to be honest. Once, especially, I was getting upgraded. I was like, holy shit, I could just fly through the rings. Again, like the shitty Superman game, Superman 64. I don't know if you ever played that one. You had to fly through the rings.
I played Superman Returns. They made a Brandon Routh game.
Oh, no, I never played that one.
It was really shitty, but the flying in it was fucking awesome.
Nice.
This felt like that.
Yeah, this one, I'm the Superman 64. If anyone listening has played that, you know how bad the flying was. And the first level was flying through these rings to get you like used to flying, and it was like impossible to do. I wonder if this game is kind of joking in the way they have the rings, because it's so smooth in this one. It was giving me Vietnam flashbacks where I'm like, oh no,
flashbacks.
Flying through the rings. I know there's a better way to say that, but
dude, yeah.
This is the kind of game where it's just really barely any complaints.
No, I don't think I have that many to complain about at all, if any.
Right? As a video game, as a story.
I still, to this day, I really do hate the changing to the Tom Holland face. It didn't ruin it by any stretch, but it's just like, all right, well, this is Tom Holland Spider-Man.
You know what? Going back to where you said Mary Jane was ugly, I just thought all the characters just had this uncanniness to their face where I wanted to punch everyone in the face. I'm like, stop, dude, shut up.
I'll tell you who had the most punchable face.
Harry?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, every time I saw his smug little smirk on screen, I was like, dude, I don't even like you without the Venom symbiote.
Exactly. And I'm like, I know you're going to screw me over at one point,
I hope you
Harry,
do die. I just want to punch him every time. He's like, we're going to be... Also, I don't know. It was such a cool story. Also, once again, I really like just like Harry becoming Venom instead of like it being Eddie Brock. Because if you really do think about it, like Eddie Brock is not what makes Venom cool. Like Venom is just cool. Eddie Brock is such a like whatever character. I think, in all honesty, that
I agree.
It hits harder with making Harry Osborn into Venom.
I completely agree. And again, going back to Insomniac, it's an original universe. They're taking things from the comics, but changing them in a way that it works.
Really cool. Like, I like how some villains, even from the first game, some villains are already established villains. Some of them, like the first game, you're seeing Dr. Octopus's origin story. We have yet, I mean, the coolest thing I think about both games is they're so hyping up Green Goblin.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten him yet.
We haven't even gotten him yet. And like every time you see him on screen, he's either wearing like a green suit, like a green light.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? Like shit like that.
He was wearing a green track jacket at one point.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, oh, come on. Like,
yeah.
Which makes me wonder, like, dude, how are they going to top Venom with Green Goblin? They're going to have to make Green Goblin like super sick.
So,
if he's going to be the big bad of the third one.
Which I feel like he has to be, obviously, right? And I think, so in the Ultimate Comics,
he's huge.
He's huge, and it's kind of taking from that, too. Does Harry become Venom in the Ultimate Comics? I don't remember. But it is very similar how, like, Osborn has the symbiote and all that stuff. But before that happens, when he does the Goblin Serum, Osborn isn't like Green Goblin with a mask. Like, he's a huge monster. He's like Hulk level. So I have a feeling the game's going to go that way.
Like in the first Spider-Man, the animated Spider-Man, Into the
Spider-Verse, exactly. That's exactly what what Green Goblin that is. Yeah. Exactly. So I'm anticipating that, and I think that would fix the thing that you just said, where if you have this big Venom, like now he's just kind of scaling down to like a smarter villain, but yeah, he's got to be a mix maybe between.
I think I would like that if like it'd be cool if you had like three in the third game. You had 3 different fights with Green Goblin, and like his final form, like because I do want to see more of a classic on the glider Goblin iteration, and then
chasing him through the city.
Yeah, and then it'd be cool if like he gives himself like more serum, and then like takes the Venom symbiote and puts it on him, and he becomes like super mega like Ultimate Goblin. You know?
Okay, that would work.
Because then that would be cool. Like we saw Venom grow wings in this one.
Yes, you're right.
That would be cool if like when he becomes Ultimate Goblin, he does that, you know?
Right. I also feel like Venom, like he's not gone completely.
No, for sure. And we do see Cletus Cassidy got
right
the Venom symbiote, so we know Carnage will be coming in the third one.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people. Like you would say, Carnage himself
is like
so this game
probably should be the main bad. Like he's not easy to beat.
Right. And then we also have Otto. He's still around. He's in jail.
Dude, that cutscene at the end.
Yeah.
And like you could tell he's planning some shit too.
That makes me think he's planning Superior Spider-Man.
Oh.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because that's the logical next step for him. If you're taking all the best recent comic storylines, Otto becoming Spider-Man by taking over Peter's mind, I don't know. That seems like an interesting twist.
You know what would also be cool is if, like, in the third game, like, what if Kingpin gets paroled?
Oh, he's still around.
Because remember, he gets arrested in the beginning of the first game. It'd be cool if we just, like, you know, if this is the third and final Spider-Man game, if we kind of, like, end all, you know, like, bring back, like, I liked how this brought back Mr. Negative, and he helped make the Anti-Venom suit.
Yes. Okay, so that was, I think, the best part of Miles' story, how they were, like, heading into each other and then wound up becoming allies. That was really cool.
Yeah.
You can't, like, I wish anyone who doesn't have a PS5 or just doesn't have the time to play this game, I wish they could just absorb the story in itself.
You can go watch it on YouTube. All the story cutscenes are put together. It's like 2 hours total. It's sick.
You should check it out if that's the case, because the story is so good.
Yeah.
It's like one of the best Spider-Man stories I've consumed in media. I don't know how else to say that. Like, better than a lot of Spider-Man, better than the current Spider-Man run. I'll say that much. Like,
I would also say better than the Garfield movies.
Oh, definitely.
These two game story have been better than the Garfield movies.
Easily. This game just has so much. The costumes are awesome. You get every movie costume. I think there's too many movie costumes, to be honest.
I agree with that 100%. Tom Holland, I'm looking at you. I don't need all those costumes.
Yep. Nope. I don't need his Far From Home costume where he's in the black stealth suit. Who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
I'll never use that one.
I also, there was one of the costumes from the first one was not in this, and it was like the OG animated one that was kind of, remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they didn't include a lot from the first game, I guess, to make room for new ones.
Some ones I would have rather seen, to be honest.
Yeah. There was one Spider-Man you could just be in his underwear. That would have been fun to have back again.
Oh, wait. We talked about this off the podcast, but you were like, you'll know it when you see it. And so I beat the Mysterio fights, which we should get into in a little bit. But you're right. That costume is totally a White Ranger costume.
Yeah, you could be the White Power Ranger as Miles.
It's totally like, White Power Ranger. It's funny because then I saw on YouTube some dude was like, motherfucker, this is the White Ranger. Like, I know a White Ranger costume when I see it. And it probably is, because I bet like real nerds worked on it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so many costumes you get for Miles. You could be Wolverine.
Dude, I really like the Black Panther one.
The Black Panther one,
that one was sick, and you could make it purple, really cool. So he looked like Black Panther.
Yes,
that was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think Miles got the better alternate costumes in this game, hands down.
I don't know if he did. I liked a lot of his alternate costumes. I think, dude, I'll tell you what I really liked. I liked the Shield Spider-Man costume.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I really liked that one.
I don't know, like for the Spider-Man costumes, it's like you gave me the black suit, and I was like, I don't want to change this. I love the black suit.
I like that they included the classic black suit.
Yeah. And the different shadings you could use to make it. You can make it so comic accurate.
Well, they had Ultimate Purple too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, these are the only costumes I need now.
Exactly.
I liked Anti-Venom. I liked that costume.
Yeah. That was sick.
In the comics, I think he has, like, I was surprised they included that. That's something like from 2010 era of Spider-Man.
And that's Flash Thompson, right? Isn't Flash Anti-Venom?
So Flash eventually becomes Anti-Venom. Actually, Eddie Brock is Anti-Venom first. And then Peter has like the Anti-Venom suit to fight Venom. Then Flash Thompson is, Agent. Now he's Agent Anti-Venom, I think. Yeah. Oh, shit. So he just has extra powers. I like Anti-Venom, actually.
Okay,
I like
so
the way the suit looks.
Not in the video game, but in the comics, what is the Anti-Venom suit? Like, what is it made of?
I don't remember the origin, but I know.
What makes it Anti-Venom? Is it like a symbiote that's been altered?
I think so. I think there's some like science shenanigans that make it effective against a symbiote. Like in the comics when they introduce it, like I don't know if you remember, like Scorpion was Venom for a long time.
No.
So basically in the 2008 era, again, I call this the Civil War era of Marvel Comics, Venom was Scorpion. Eddie Brock was dying of cancer.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's how Scorpion gets the Venom symbiote. Like they just didn't, they wanted anybody but Eddie Brock to be Venom for whatever reason. And then Eddie Brock eventually gets Anti-Venom, which cures his cancer. I think it's something with that, now that I'm thinking about it. It helps him heal, but also he becomes a good guy because he's like, I'm curing everybody. And I think at that time, Peter has the black suit again. So it's kind of like a reverse, like Peter's fighting with the black suit against Anti-Venom. I might be, someone out there knows I'm probably wrong, but it's something like that. But I just like the concept of Anti-Venom. I think it works in the game the way they use it, at least. Like it gives you one more boost at the end of the game because you're like, fuck, it's going to be hard to fight Venom if I don't have some little extra Riz in there, you know?
I still got my ass kicked with the Anti-Venom suit.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he was beating my ass. Dude, oh my God. I loved in the game, there are certain very Venomy things, especially, I think, and I'd love to ask any of the game developers about this. But I think if you played Marvel vs. Capcom ever, there are some good homages to what Venom did in those games with his power. Specifically, like in the final fight, there's that part when you're in the high school, and sometimes Venom will make like other like almost piranha plant Venoms come out of the ground and you have to swing.
Yeah.
I felt like that was very, in Marvel vs. Capcom, he would send out like another chompy version of him, you know?
Yes. There is even one of the moves you could do as Black Suit Spidey is like,
yes.
I don't know what to call it. Like
I know what you're talking about. It would be a giant mouth in Marvel vs. Capcom and Venom would come crashing in. Yeah. Totally. Exactly. I agree. That move was definitely in the game also.
I mean, playing as that, I just want a Venom game where I wanted to play more as Venom. You do get one mission.
Yeah, that one mission where you do get to play as Venom. And I also really liked, this whole time you're playing Spider-Man vs. Kraven. And the final fight isn't even Spider-Man vs. Kraven, it's Venom vs. Kraven.
Yeah. Venom bites Kraven's head off.
Murders him.
Yeah, that's a huge part, right? The whole time you're like, okay, Kraven's the big bad. Maybe they're just building towards Venom for something. No, like it's almost like it was kind of a spoiler to know that, like, Peter has the black suit. And yeah, if you know enough, you're expecting Venom. But I wasn't expecting that much Venom, I'll be honest. I loved
also,
it, but I just wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, he also, like, Kraven killed off half of Spider-Man's OG rogue gallery.
Yeah, you're right.
It's, like, heavily implied that he, like, murdered Vulture, Electro, Scorpion.
Scorpion's gone,
Yeah.
What was I just going to say? Oh, I like that Lizard. He just is in the game, and, like, the way they introduce him is so seamless. Like, he's already been in the universe. He's already been the
Lizard before.
Yeah. And the Lizard design, I fucking love that. I love the way Lizard looked.
That whole fight and chase in the river and the final fight, that whole thing was fucking awesome. I think
it was fun.
I think that might have been one of the cooler boss fights, honestly.
I agree. And again, going back, like the Lizard design, I thought I'm gonna say it's probably the best Lizard design I've seen. Like he's like as big or bigger than Killer Croc, but he doesn't feel like Killer Croc. Like they figured it out for me. Like I feel like you're always in danger of making Lizard exactly like Killer Croc if you make him that size, but it worked. It worked.
And also, like, dude, in the final fight, not only was he huge, but he would like jump onto the ceiling, and like throw shit at you. Like, no, he was fucking crazy. His fight was sick. I got my ass kicked in that fight a lot.
Yeah, that's when I was like,
I died a few times.
Not as good at this game. Yeah,
me too. There were just moments where I was like, dude, I was like, I feel like the first game was way easier than this.
I think it was, but I also the first game did have a layer of difficulty.
Absolutely. I think there were some parts about the first game that were definitely harder that maybe I even like miss a little bit. But I also died plenty of times in this shit.
Yeah. And this game, if you played the first one, like your muscle memory is going to kick right in. There's not a lot of new mechanics at all. Some people might see that as a negative, but you don't need to if it's not broke, you don't need to fix it.
Exactly, dude. I mean, the whole reason the Arkham games are so successful is because that fighting physics works perfectly. That's what we want to see.
Yeah. And we've said that when the first game came out. Like, it's like, holy shit, this is Arkham. Like, the way you fight is exactly like Arkham. The way you do stealth missions is exactly like Arkham.
Dude, I mean, this game, they even definitely, like, paid homage to Arkham with the whole zipline thing.
Yes, you finally have
you finally had that, which is a Batman thing, 100%. So that's cool that you can make your own.
And it made taking people down so much easier. You could do 2 at a time.
Especially those Kraven missions. Like, sometimes, dude, I got my ass kicked on a lot of those Kraven warehouses that I'd bust up. Especially when you get, like, the Juggernaut bear dudes with the axe.
Oh,
like, those guys were fucking impossible. And I was like, Jesus Christ. I was on point with my dodges, though, and my counters. I was like, I think that was the quickest, like, nerve. Like,
I think one of the funniest lines in the game is when you first fight the first bear dude and Spider-Man Peter Parker, he's like, hey, have any honey? Or something like that. Like, he references honey, but the way he says it is so perfectly Spider-Man.
Well, he says, I didn't know there were bears in these woods. And I'm all out of honey.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
It's such like I do like classic Spider-Man quips, like that kind of shit.
Yeah. I felt like the rest of the game, he was way too melodramatic.
He was like, I'm going to kill him.
Well, that was funny.
Well,
but like
once
earlier,
he got the Venom symbiote on, he was definitely like super emo and aggro.
Yeah. Like, not now, Mary Jane.
Yeah,
don't call
stupid
me.
Bitch. Which, I'll be honest, I don't need a Venom symbiote for me to call Mary Jane a stupid bitch, because that woman is problematic.
Then she becomes the McDonald's symbiote.
Oh, she does. You're right. She becomes the Ronald McDonald symbiote.
Yeah.
What's her Scream? Right?
Scream. Yeah. I don't know if traditionally, like, she is Scream in the comics, but Scream is like a female. There's a lot of symbiotes.
Yeah, it was like the mustard and ketchup symbiote.
Mustard and ketchup. Yeah. Like, oh, do you remember Juggernaut, bitch? Do you remember that video?
Of course.
And he's fighting some. I forget who he's fighting. Like the dude, I think his name is Eric the Red or something. Yeah. He's like, look at this ketchup and mustard looking motherfucker.
Yeah. I remember exactly that.
Someone needs to make an edit of Scream in that line, because that's what all I was thinking.
That's hilarious. That fight was cool too, though, honestly. I liked that fight.
That was a hard fight too.
That was a hard fight. I got my ass kicked.
But I liked it. I liked that it was Peter versus MJ in that way. Again, going back to the story, every boss fight and every encounter worked well within the story. It was so seamless. It wasn't there for, like, you weren't just beating up a criminal for no reason most of the time. It always had some connection.
Yeah. Dude, I really enjoyed, and I hope we see more of him, Mysterio's story with Miles. That was cool.
Because it was so different.
So different. And so sad.
Right, because Quentin Beck isn't the villain.
Yeah. No,
You find out it's the two women were manipulating you into thinking he was the bad guy.
Exactly.
That's a good twist.
Yeah, no, it was super. Yeah, and then also it's like he even like wanted to reform as a criminal,
right?
And now they still made him look like a criminal. And like, dude, that was cool. Like the final cutscene with him and Miles. Miles says to him, he's like, well, how's it feel to be a good guy? And he's like, he like puts his hand on Miles and he's like, Mysterio will always be a villain, but like so long as we have heroes like Spider-Man there, we'll be fine. And like,
yeah, or
something like that.
Or doesn't he say something like it matters who you are underneath the mask?
Yeah, all that matters is who you are underneath.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah,
it was also,
awesome.
I feel like, a nod and a better twist than the MCU Mysterio, where he did have a team of people helping him, and it wasn't really him by himself. But that's the writers of this game. Fucking bravo! You guys had me the whole time.
They know Spider-Man. Like they get
Yes.
Spider-Man. They get comic book lore and like comic book things that real fans want to see in this game.
You brought it up with Brian Hill when we just talked to him, where it's just like we don't always need everyone to like change who the character is and make it some big new thing. Like sometimes just having that classic feel and doing things we know Spidey does is totally fine, and could in this game it shows you it works just fine and it's great.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no, I want to see Spider-Man do Spider-Man shit. Sick shit. Also, so cool how they enlarged the map for this game.
Yes. Next game needs a bigger map, though. It needs to be
just do
even
all 5
bigger.
boroughs. Fuck
That's what I'm saying.
Seriously,
Yes.
just do it. We know because of the system itself of a PS5. And I'm sure once we see the trailer for Grand Theft Auto, like we know you can make a huge map.
Exactly.
So do it. I don't care how long it takes. Develop it for 6 years. If that game, I want to see.
I'm willing to wait for that.
Yeah, the third Spider-Man has to be epic.
Well, okay, so we're talking about it. We brought up a few things already that we know Green Goblin has to make a big appearance. We know we have Carnage who's big in himself. We know Venom has to come back, probably as an ally, more than likely.
That would be cool.
Superior Spider-Man could be a thing.
Yeah, either way, Doc Ock's coming back.
Doc Ock has to come back. And then we have the Spider-Bot missions, which reveal have you collected all the Spider-Bots?
I haven't.
Oh, okay, see, so maybe I lied a little bit. Once you collect all the Spider-Bots, Genki's like, you need to go check this thing out. It's like this weird signal I'm getting. And you get a portal and you get Spider-Verse, right? So you get like a bar, like it suddenly Peter's looking in and you see like, it looks like Spider-Verse animation.
Really?
You get what I'm saying?
Whoa.
Yeah, and Spider-Man 2099's digital assistant, I forget her name. Like you see her in a bar and she's like, oh, Miguel's been looking for these. Thanks for finding them. We're going to get you, if we need your help, we're going to give you a call.
What?
So I feel like Spider-Verse has to have right? And I was talking to Kent about this, and I can't take credit for the idea because I was like, holy shit, Kent, that's how it has to be. We're talking about a bigger map, right? What if instead of a bigger map in that way, like, oh, now I'm Spider-Man 2099. I'm in his world now. So it's the same map, but it's different because now you're in his universe. It would obviously, like Gwen Stacy's universe looks different. You know what I'm saying?
You think the third Spider-Man could be like a multiverse Spider-Man game?
I think it's huge and maybe not exactly what I
like
want
that
as
idea
the third
a lot,
one.
though.
But right, like that could be fun as hell.
So you could almost have the same map, but you go to other Spider-Man's dimensions, so it looks. I know what you mean.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like layered almost.
That's
like maybe in this
cool.
one you can only do a mission because you could access like this alleyway or something bigger than that,
like
obviously.
that. Damn.
Right?
Kent's got that's a good idea, Kent.
Right?
You should pitch that.
Kent's the video game guy. He knows his shit.
That's cool. I didn't know I didn't collect all of them. I tried to. There's like 42. I think I got like 27 of them.
Some of them are hard to get.
Yeah,
like
dude. There's one high.
up.
Yeah, dude. That one high up in
Yeah.
the sky. I'm still trying to get.
No, you have to use the boost. So you can press L1 and you could jump higher.
Okay.
Yeah, you could do it. You just need to get some air and then just jump. Like find a nearby tall building and try to glide to it.
Dude, I'll tell you what move I specifically like that they added, which is a classic, especially movie Spider-Man things. Like, when they launches
the slingshot.
Yeah. It's so cool.
It's really fun to do.
Really fucking fun. Really nice. We've seen it from the Toby ones to the Andrew Garfield ones. Like, it is cool to see that classic maneuver.
I saw someone and they show you the clip. I think it's from the first Spider-Man. Or maybe the second, and the exact place he does it in the movie, they do it in the game, and you could actually go through a similar route.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
It's crazy.
That's sick. Oh man, dude, the moves, just like all the moves they added, very Spidey accurate. Like
Yeah, I mean Miles' moves are fucking straight out of the comic.
Ooh, so who did you enjoy playing more as?
Miles until until I got the Venom suit for Peter, because Miles is faster and you have the electric Venom stings, which help. I think it makes fights a bit easier. He's definitely faster. Like just button mashing and doing combos was easier for me with Miles.
I think I enjoying played as Peter more.
Nice.
But I did love, of course, I mean, the gameplay was awesome all around.
Yeah, they play similar, but they have their, their own quirks.
Yeah, I mean, it became like really cool once he got the Venom symbiote, in which case I just wanted to play as Peter all the time.
Peter's punches felt heavier too, like he was a stronger Spider-Man. I don't know if that is true. That's just how it felt as I was playing it.
Hey man, I'm team Peter. OG Spider-Man is always going to win to me. He just knows spider moves that others don't.
Yeah, I mean, but some people are like, "Oh, Miles can't be Spider-Man." It's like, why? Like, why can't he be Spider-Man? I don't understand that at all.
He can be Spider-Man.
Like he is. Like in the game, they call each other Spider-Man. They're like, "Hey, Spider-Man, hey."
He can be or beat.
Be.
Oh, he can be. Yeah, he is Spider-Man.
In a fight, yeah, that's totally different. I mean, Miles, okay, so this is what the argument was for me and my friends growing up when Miles was introduced. It was always like that Venom sting is so OP. Like he's Spider-Man and then he could just touch you. Like this is how it used to be in the comics. He has the Venom sting and he just touches you with it and you're just knocked unconscious.
Yeah.
And so is he. But like it knocked anybody out. Like he could touch Venom with it and Venom's done. He could touch Green Goblin with it and like one punch man him basically.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, they kind of nerfed it a bit. But Miles, when he first came out, was like touching people with that Venom sting and they were done.
Nice.
But obviously in the game, it doesn't work like that either,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I enjoyed playing as both of them. I think I liked Peter more. I liked what his mechanical spider legs could do. I like how they kept that too as like a thing from the first game.
Yes, I get what you're talking about.
Like repertoire that he has.
Like his iron spider suit.
Yeah. I like that they kept that as like a thing.
I guess I should mention too, Miles Morales, it didn't feel like they were drawing from any specific comics of his, but there was a very good recent run by Saladin Ahmed. It's a great Miles Morales run. Obviously, read the original if you like Miles Morales, because he doesn't have a lot of series. This is one that's more recent that was really good. But the story, like you said, yeah, wasn't that Miles heavy. Like we just got Miles help, like a lot of his side missions were just helping his classmates.
Yeah, or like getting musical instruments back from a thief.
Right.
Yeah, I would say Miles' coolest things were the Mysterio fights.
Mysterio fights and then his Mr. Negative story for sure.
Yeah.
Like you were saying.
The Mysterio fights were cool and I mean, it's got to be an homage once again to the Scarecrow fights in Arkham.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
They were very Scarecrow-esque.
Especially when he becomes a giant Mysterio
that one
in the final
was
fight.
Sick
Yeah.
when he's in the snow globe or whatever.
Yes.
No. They were so trippy, and there was one where it's like, watch out for the train. I was like, what? And a train would come out of nowhere. I was like, dude, what the fuck?
That was fun, because you could get the enemies in front of it, and they would go flying if they got hit too.
And I loved Mysterio's costume, to be honest, because I'll be honest, I think Mysterio is like really not that cool of a villain on paper, like in the comics.
Right.
He never really has been even. And like even his like original story is like, I used to be like a theater and set builder and effects guy. It's like, all right, this dude's using that to beat Spider-Man. But I loved when like he would put on his helmet and it would be like that digital smoky skull thing.
Yes, that was I
cool
love that
fuck.
design too.
Yeah.
In the Spider-Man 2 game in the PS2 era, you would do these Mysterio side missions kind of not in the same way, but you kind of had to track him down. And when you finally got to Mysterio, you find him in a suit in like a convenience store. And he's like, Spider-Man. And then you see like the whole like health bar of his, like it's like it gets full, like you're ready for a fight. And then you just punch him once and the bar goes all the way down. And he's like, oh, because Mysterio is just like nobody.
Just
like
dude.
in a fight, yeah, Spider-Man beats him easily. It's all about the mental aspect of it.
Yeah. Dude, I totally forgot about the sick chameleon cameo.
Yes.
So he'll probably be in the next game too.
That was like one of Miles' side missions too. When you it was kind of both. Like I used Miles, but like if you collect the there's
drones.
like these the drones. I don't know what I'm calling. They were kind of like
vulture
vultures,
drones.
Though. Yeah. When you get them all, you track down Chameleon's place, and then he's like, "Oh, I will find you soon."
Yeah, I liked that. I like that because Chameleon is he's a very old school Spider-Man villain.
Yeah,
who I feel like probably doesn't get enough cred.
And he could be anybody.
Yeah, he could be anybody. It'd be cool if like we've actually seen him this whole time, from game 1 to now.
Very possible.
That would be cool. I thought the Chameleon at the end was going to be Miles' mom's boyfriend.
That's what I was thinking too. Because yes, you do get Miles' mom saying, "Oh, Miles, I want you to meet my boyfriend." You never meet him until the post-credit scene or like mid-credit scene, end of the game. And I was like, oh shit, it's going to be a villain. Like you're saying, could it be Chameleon? But then it turned out to be his last name is Moon. And he's like, hey, I want you to meet my daughter, Cindy. Cindy Moon is from the comics. She's Silk.
Who is Silk? I've never even heard of this character.
So Silk, okay, here we go. Okay, for those of you who have listened to our Spider-Man episode, we did an amazing Spider-Man episode. It was J. Michael Straczynski's first volume we did. In that run, we get introduced to Ezekiel.
Yes.
Another thing, we just were talking about that Madam Web trailer. And of course, you get Ezekiel because everyone loves and knows Ezekiel.
Classic,
right, guys?
Ezekiel.
Classic Ezekiel. Man, everyone's been talking about him.
Most compelling Spidey villain.
Right, somehow. He's not even really a villain. He's just so mysterious, but you're never sure what side he's on. And so in the comics,
fuck Ezekiel.
In recent years, when they're doing the Spider-Verse, the first Spider-Verse comic event, before this happens, we learn that the spider that bit Peter also bit a girl named Cindy Moon. So they were around the same age. They like to do this. It's a retcon, right? Like they've retconned that Jessica Jones went to high school with Peter Parker.
What?
Cindy Moon was around. Yeah, that's a retcon. And Cindy Moon was around at the same time too, but no one really knew her. She's on the same field trip, or somehow she gets bit. And then so Ezekiel, I guess her family knows Ezekiel, or Ezekiel finds her because of the whole spider totem thing. This is really deep lore, guys. I'm sorry. And you don't really need to know it, but I'm telling you.
Do it.
And so like Cindy Moon grows up in like this safe room that Ezekiel, it's like a panic room that she thinks she's never allowed to leave, or like Moreland is going to get her. The spider, he eats all the spider people. That's what Spider-Verse is all about. So Cindy Moon grows up in this room. Finally, she escapes.
Oh, whoa, time out. What did you just say? Is that who Spider-Man 2099 is?
No. Wait, why? Why do you think, wait, what? Wait, why?
You just said he eats all the spider people.
Oh, yeah. So I get what you're saying. In the animated movie,
yeah,
I was starting to think that
when
too.
He goes like, and then remember he's about to eat Vulture?
I think Moreland is coming. I think they have to introduce Moreland. They're called the Inheritors. I think they have to introduce that in the movie. But yes, it's connected directly to that. Whoa. And so when Cindy Moon finally leaves this room, Peter senses her. They sense each other, but because of their pheromones, their spider pheromones, and then you think there's something's about to happen. No, they just want to bang each other. It just becomes they're just constantly having sex with each other. Peter's like, oh, we can't be near each other anymore. This is too much.
Just constantly banging.
And that's Silk's origin story.
That's hilarious.
And now she's like a spider person. She basically has the same powers as Spider-Man. You could call her Spider-Woman. She's not, but she's that kind of character. So the next game seems to heavily imply a lot more spider people, a lot more villains. Who knows what the fuck it's going to be?
Oh, no, seriously. Damn.
But once again, giving credit, all of that backstory I just gave Cindy Moon, the creators of this game just going, nah, it's just the daughter of whoever Rio Morales is dating, which is perfect.
So we know of now. It could be, revealed later.
But you could also see that she's Miles' age and not Peter's age. Yeah. So it's a change, but I think it works. And again, Miles is Spider-Man now, so it's going to be his job. He's probably going to be overwhelmed with all the shit that's happening. Peter's going to have to come out of retirement, I'm sure. Or Silk's there. Maybe Spider-Gwen. Spider-Verse shit happens.
Dude, it would be cool. Every deviation that these games have made from the more or less classic iterations, I'm here for.
Same.
They've made their own original Spider-Man tale. It is hard to do that with comic books because even like we said, of course we do like to see classic shit, but we also like to see shit that puts the boundaries. I like every change that they've done with this game, with their characters and the story. It does feel fresh and original. Yeah, costumes. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. That's rare. It's hard to do in general with any character. The Spider-Verse movie, same thing. They were here's our take on Spider-Man. And we're fuck yes.
Yeah, no, this story is really cool. Insomniac knocked it out of the park.
Also, if you like Spider-Verse, you could use Miles Morales. He has a few Spider-Verse costumes, and when you when you change them, the frame rate changes of the game.
Yeah.
Right? So like now it looks like you're playing Spider-Verse. Like the way Miles moves and the way you do combat looks like the movie.
When he was like swinging and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was sick.
So I highly recommend.
You could turn that off too.
You could, yeah. And you could turn that on for any costume actually.
Dude, this game like on a technical level, I feel like really utilized like PS5's like hardware.
It did. I mean, PS5 has been around for a little while, but probably my favorite PS5 game without having to think about it.
Well, also like my buddy of mine, he's a big nerd, and he was like, dude, the PS5 right now, it's capable of doing things that like games haven't been made to be able to do yet.
Yeah.
It's like it is like pretty advanced. Like games aren't even caught up to it. I bet GTA 6 will utilize almost most of that.
I'm sure. Well, think about like when PS2 first came out and the games that you were playing on PS2 when it first came out, and then while it was becoming PS3, like the quality is different. Like they figured out this is how we utilize it. So that's a good point.
It's just crazy to see where video games are going. Like what?
Right?
What's gonna happen?
Because for me, what's the first Spider-Man video game you ever played?
The first, but probably like one for Super Nintendo or some shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Same here. So the first Spider-Man game, if you look at it, the Super Nintendo one, I don't remember what it's called, but it's hard to play. The graphics are bad. Like it's not. From there, like the next time I was impressed with a Spider-Man game was, so we had the first Spider-Man game, which is not free roaming really, but it's connected to the movie.
That game was good when it came out.
That was fun.
This game is sick.
But then Spider-Man 2 came out, and it was like
better.
It's the granddaddy of this game. Without that, there's no this new generation of Spider-Man. And that impressed me. So when you get me here, you already had me hooked years ago, right?
Yeah.
So like the fact that this is video games for like modern day, enjoy it if you haven't played those old games. But like for me, it's like I don't know, I don't have the words for it. It's like of course I'm gonna like this if I like that. This is like 10 times better than that. But that was like the pinnacle for me. So like, thank you for making a great game, Insomniac. I don't know what to say.
Serious.
Spider-Man fan, Spider-Man video game fan. You fucking killed it, Mr. and Mrs. Insomniac.
Yeah, Mr. and Mrs. Insomniac. Yeah, no, super, just a fun, enjoyable game. Also had a lot of heart. Dude, that mission, I mean, there's more.
The Pigeon Man mission.
Pigeon Man, man.
Yes.
Oh, that shit was so sad, dude. What do you?
That was so sad.
He died.
But it's also in the game. You're playing that mission and you get that really chill '70s song.
Yeah,
like
that was
it's
cool.
like you're flying through the air with the pigeons. I was like, oh man, why was there not more of that?
Yeah, that was really cool.
Like I want more missions like that for the next game. That would be sick.
Yeah, there were some really cool like little things like that. Also, I liked all the scenes and interactions with what's her name? Miles's girlfriend, love interest.
Yes, and you get to play as her in one mission.
Dude, that's really cool because she's deaf.
Yes,
and in that mission, there's no sound whatsoever. There's like faint vibrations, and that's it.
Yeah, she's Haley Cooper.
Haley, yeah.
I wonder if she could become a
Spider
hero
character. That would be sick.
Yeah, or gets a suit or something.
Yeah, well,
she could be like Echo.
Yeah, pretty much. I liked like her parts. I also just liked it was, once again, this game without being too like forceful and pandery is very inclusive.
Hell yeah.
Like I could tell, even though I don't know ASL, I could tell like all the shit they were doing was like real ASL, Which means that like they went through the trouble of like, not even the trouble, they had the consideration to do that,
Absolutely.
That's cool. That's cool as fuck.
I think the game is just, like you said, it has a lot of heart and it translates to every part of the game. Like Spider-Man has to be that way. Like if it was so we know they're making Insomniac doing Wolverine. I don't think the Wolverine game's gonna have that heart in it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna have that dog in it.
Yeah, it's gonna have that dog in it. Yeah. Which I mean, yeah, we're all here for. We want Wolverine to have that dog in him.
Yeah.
I want to see people die.
Like, it should be more brutal. Yeah.
Did you ever play, I guess specifically I had it for the GameCube, but it was the Wolverine games that accompanied the X-Men movies?
Yes, X-Men 2, I remember specifically. Wolverine's Revenge.
Yeah, Wolverine's Revenge, dude. That game was sick.
That was a sick game. It was hard as fuck,
It was
though.
super hard, dude. I remember specifically there's a Juggernaut fight that's really hard. Yeah, that game was pretty tough, to be honest.
Did you ever fight Omega Red in that game?
I think you do.
Because I remember, I don't know why, it was like a joke me and my friends made growing up. Like, you would play through the game, like, I think towards the end, like, you're having a flashback, and in Wolverine's head, he's like talking to like a Russian scientist something, and he's like, but you haven't faced Omega Red. Omega Red. Omega Red. Like, it just is echoing away. So we just always would be like, Omega Red. Omega Red.
I remember in that game specifically, you fight the Wendigo.
Yes, I think it was that it was part of that mission, exactly.
Yeah, that's the first time, other than like, I think Hulk Ground Zero, that I had heard of the Wendigo.
Yeah.
Or that's Sasquatch in Ground Zero, I guess. The big bull man.
Yeah. But you also get the mission, you get to be him when he's Weapon X and waking up out of like the tube that he's in, and you just go on a rampage.
Yeah. No, that game is cool. Just a pure hacker slash game, but still cool.
Yep. Yeah. Recommend that.
But it was hard. There was definitely some hard ass moments to it.
But it makes me wonder, and we were talking about this the other day, like, okay, in this game, you're free roaming as Spider-Man, you're swinging around, but Wolverine, what are you doing? Like riding a motorcycle? How do you what is the in-between stuff that makes it as big of a draw?
Well, you know what would be cool? I think if there were certain parts in the Wolverine game where he's like actually in the wilderness, whether it be like snowy Arctic or like jungle shit. So maybe you're not riding around on anything. Maybe you're not even in an urban area. You're like straight up like hopping from tree to tree.
Yeah.
You know how like in the Spider-Man game, when you wanted to like swing really far, but click both left and right trigger, you could be like that, and Wolverine could like super jump like, ah! Because Wolverine's like still like, you know what I mean? Like,
ooh. Yeah.
And then you like jump into a tree and it'll do that thing like click here, and he'll like land in it and like climb the tree and jump
with
off.
his claws.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have him. I think it'd be cool. I'm picturing almost like very like Ewok Village, like him just jumping from tree to tree, going on like a jungle murder spree.
I would love to be Wolverine and just murder an entire village of Ewoks. That would be fun.
So brutal. That'd be so fun.
Yeah, but you know what? You're right. It probably shouldn't take place in a city urban environment, and wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. Because you're right. It's like, how is he? I mean, yeah, I don't know if like the open world thing will be a focus for that game, you know?
You're right.
It makes sense.
You're right. It doesn't really have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could almost be like more like God of War-esque, you know?
Yeah.
That would be like,
that's a good point,
be a good
dude.
like model for Wolverine.
And then something you said, it can almost, even if they want to add like a survival game type of element, like you said, you're in the woods, you know, you need to find out where you are, get your bearings. Because I could see it being Origin.
It could be like Uncharted, you know?
Uncharted, yeah, you're right.
But like with Wolverine, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I think there's a lot of cool things you could do with it. As cool as the open world thing is that Batman and Spider-Man and GTA have nailed down, it's like that doesn't need to be the model for every... You know,
right?
Superman, yes, I would want an open world fucking game where he flies everywhere.
Right? Yeah, you're right. Wolverine doesn't need to be open world, and it just needs to be good and original. Like Insomniac makes some of the best games. Ratchet and Clank, fucking amazing. That game,
dude, I played Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart for the PS5. Probably one of the most fun games I've ever played. Period. In my life, I was like, this game is fun as shit.
Yep, I beat that game fast too.
Yeah.
A game doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be long. I like that Spider-Man takes a couple weeks. Many people beat it before us, and I got it spoiled, so whatever. But
I beat this game pretty quick. Like, as far as me playing video games, I beat this one in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, same.
I'm very satisfied, you know?
And both of us, we were even talking about it. Like, we knew we were getting close to the end, and it was the kind of thing where it's like, I don't want to quite finish it.
I almost didn't want to even do it. Even when it said in that one part where it's like, this is the last time you could do it before like it's the end of the story.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck it, let's rock. I didn't even unlock all my shit before I didn't.
So you still have some stuff that you could do and go back in and play.
I have now. Now everything's unlocked. But when I fought Venom in the end, I did not have every skill and every gadget maxed out.
Gotcha. Yeah, so that definitely made it a bit of a handicap too. Like if you have everything, it's not going to be that hard. But
it took me a few tries and I beat him. It only took me like, I don't know, maybe I died like 5-6 times.
But it's good. It's like checkpoints. Every time you beat like it doesn't show you a bunch of health bars, but it's usually 3 or 4 times when you're fighting a boss before they're finally dead.
Yeah.
You get cutscenes that are like save points, basically.
Dude, the kicking people like against the wall is the most satisfying fucking thing. And then like if you like take someone and you like slam them into the left and the right. Oh, man.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's fucking awesome.
I like fighting on rooftops and just throwing or kicking people off the roof. And I'm like, you're done. You're dead.
You're dead.
Spider-Man just murdered you.
Dude, Spider-Man's a murderer.
Yeah, hands down. Would you rather? I saw a video clip of this.
Oh, I know what you're going to ask.
It's either Batman and Arkham beating the shit out of you in the Arkham video game or Spider-Man and this one beating the shit out of you. Who do you pick?
I'll tell you why I pick who I pick.
Okay.
Who do I want beating the shit out of me? Batman. Because at least as far as his code goes, he won't kill you. Spider-Man, just from like whether he intends to or not, just from the sheer physics of what he's doing to you with like whipping you 30 feet in the air, slamming you down onto the pavement with like kick, and then like, oh, later, douchebag. Like
strength level.
Yeah,
too.
Strength level. Like he's stronger than Batman. So I think he would kill you by accident a lot of times.
Damn, that's a great point. It's hard to argue that logic, but I'm going to say Spider-Man because maybe like all that happens and I'm like, I'm like about to die on the ground, and there's like in this game at least there's a symbiote goo right nearby, and at least I get to be a symbiote. I don't want to be in Arkham, you know.
No, I mean I also don't want to be because Arkham is like they always take over the city.
Yes. Do you want to be a crippled person in Arkham? I don't think so. No. That sounds scary too.
No, yeah, it just and Batman is brutal.
Yeah. It's a hard choice. You know, it's a bad choice to make. It's just.
But I like in that video.
You got to pick one.
It's like a combo of Batman punching that dude like 30 times.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God.
And Spider-Man, just like you're saying, you have them whipped. He's like throwing them into the ground. You could do that infinitely if you're good enough at the game. You can tie someone up and swing and beat and beat and beat and swing them back up and beat and beat.
Dude, there were some cool
fun.
Like aerial moves in this game. Like you could pull them up, swing underneath them on the other side of them, punch them down. You know what I mean? Like bring them back up. There was like, it was crazy.
I love the Venom move where you could put all your tentacles out and then lift people up and slam them at once.
So sick.
So satisfying.
So cool. I feel like I need to play it again because I don't know if I used every single move that I even unlocked, you know?
Yeah, some of them I completely ignore if I can't remember how to do it. Well, yeah,
some of them were like specific, like, oh, hold triangle and do this. Like the more ones you unlock with skill points, I was like, I can't remember all these like button combinations.
Yep. That's how I am with every game. There could be like a souped up move and I'm like, I just didn't know. Whatever.
That's all.
I still beat the game.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's a cool game. Easy money 6.
Easy money 6. Like nothing. There's nothing wrong with this game. Like if there is quote unquote something wrong, it's completely ignorable.
I've seen such lame people in comments being like, you guys will buy anything. It's the same game. Oh, I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like you're lame. Even people like, it was just like this one dude, even everyone commented like, dude, you're trying too hard. Like, we all know you're just trying to like troll. Like it's not even like, come on, dog.
Like how could you play this game and be like, nah, I didn't have fun? Yeah, it's impossible. It's really impossible.
No, it's a fun.
And it's also if you play both games, like, and you've never read a Spider-Man comic or for whatever reason that's your first time consuming Spider-Man media, I know it has to make you a fan.
Exactly.
How could it not? It's good as a standalone thing. You don't need backstory for it at all. You just get extra Easter eggs if you do, like we're saying, the chameleon thing and the Spider-Verse thing and stuff like that. But, gameplay. It's just one of the funnest games ever. Just swinging. Who doesn't want to fucking feel like Spider-Man swinging around a city?
Dude, the swinging, the physics engine, how it feels in the actual like haptic feedback.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. That shit was cool. Also, before we finish, I also really like the Sandman shit.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about Sandman.
That opening first fight with Sandman when he's huge is awesome.
Yeah.
And it's cool that we just did Uncanny X-Force and we talked about Iceman making duplicates of himself.
Yes.
That felt very, in the Sandman fights, I was like, whoa, this is cool. Like,
they were always easy to beat, but it was a cool concept of how he had his arm. Like, you have the Kraven hunters, then you have the symbiotes, and then you have the Sandman people. So that was cool.
I also liked how it made it like it was fractured parts of his like brain and memory and shit.
Yeah. And I liked when you had to crack them open and you pull the triggers and it's like,
dude, you could feel the resistance in the triggers.
Yes.
Dude, that's one cool. But this game also showed me, especially like when you would do the Prowler missions and you'd have to hold.
Yeah, the Prowler mission.
You'd have to hold the little electric things for a moment.
That was hard. That was a little hard sometimes.
But it also made me realize, I was like, dude, the PS5 controller, the haptic feedback is crazy. I didn't realize they could like gauge, like pressure how much, make it easier and harder to squeeze down.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's really one of the most mind-blowing things. Going back to, hey, look, I was hooked on PlayStation before it, like it had a rumble. Wow, that's the cool feature, Crazy. The fact that it does shit like that is just, it makes me feel like an old man because I'm so easily amazed by it.
Old man Inacho.
Yep, I'll be playing until you're playing and Peter's an old man and he's like, oh
shit, old man Peter.
Old man Peter, there we go.
Ooh. That could be a cool comic.
That would be fun.
Yeah. That would be fun.
There is a fucked up, it's called Spider-Man Reign, and Mary Jane dies of cancer because of they've been together for so long and his radioactivity is fucking with her. Oh,
shit.
It's a super dark Spider-Man. We should do it for the pod, but it's super dark. And yeah, it's not like the best. It's just like, fuck.
That does sound fucked.
Yeah, it really is.
I'll totally read it. But that sounds really depressing.
Yeah, it is. It is.
God, he gave her cancer all this time.
Yep. Yeah. It's the most edgelord take on
really
Spider-Man.
Edgelordy in a really awful way. That's hilarious.
Yep. Hopefully that's not Spider-Man 3.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you guys do have a PS5, I would highly recommend buying this game. Seriously.
Yeah, buy it for Christmas. Buy it for someone you love for Christmas.
Yeah, or, that's a good idea. If you know of anyone who has a PS5 and they don't have this game, maybe see what you can do.
Seriously.
Go buy it for them or go...
buy someone a PS5 and said, Anthony and Jake said to buy you a PS5.
Yeah, we send our regards. Also, wait, is this coming out in Christmas or releasing this at Christmas? Or around Christmas?
We'll release this soon. Okay. It's a half bake, so we could just throw it in one of these weeks.
I was going to say Merry Christmas. But
it's a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
You filthy animals.
Well, yeah, I guess that's it.
Thanks for tuning in to this half-baked edition of Comics and Chronic. Go check out our website, comicsandchronic.com. A lot of cool stuff there.
Check out our Patreon.
Subscribe to that bitch. Yeah, we got some cool guests coming on. Also, the rumors are true. We just got word from HQ that 2/3 of Comics and Chronic will be at LA Comic-Con.
We're gonna be there.
So if you're in the LA area and you're gonna be there, come say hi to your boys.
Yeah, link up with your boys. If you've been on the pod, if you listen to the pod,
smoke. We can smoke one together.
Hell yeah. So let's do that. And like I said, we have Amazing Spider-Man that we did that episode. That's an episode you could go check out.
Kraven's Last Hunt.
That's Patreon, so you'll need to sign up for Patreon. That was one of our first Patreon episodes. It was a fun one. We also did No Way Home, obviously.
And we did, with Austin Buell, Spider-Man 1.
The Sam Raimi Spider-Man, right. So we got a few Spider-Mans out there. If you want to hear more Spider-Mans, let us know. We'll talk about them.
Hell yeah.
All right, now leave us. We're done.
Be gone, peasants. Hi, you're listening to Comics and Chronic, and I'm Jake FH.
I'm Cody Cannon.
And I'm Anthony Iannaccio.
And you can tune in every Thursday to hear new episodes of Comics and Chronic.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Comics and Chronic. That's Comics, the letter N, Chronic.
We'll see you guys next week.
Woo! Peace.